Way up. Okay, slightly different, there's the microphone, slightly different setup today. For our first stream this year, we're going to take a bath. Everybody's got to have a bath once a year, as somebody just said in the chat a minute ago. Everybody's got to have a bath once a year, whether you need it or not. And we're going to give a bath to some prints. I think the album these came in on one of our show and tells, maybe, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. I showed a little album of match label prints and Saint Chaffada prints that we had picked up quite cheaply at Yahoo Auctions. And it was the guy who bought it had pasted them all, severely pasted them all into an album of thick card, and it will destroy the prints completely if we don't get them off here. The prints themselves, this particular group, dates from Showa 9, which is somewhere in the 1930s. We're going to throw them in hot water today and take them off. And along with this, we've also got those images. Do you remember this? This album came into us, it was on the show and tell a few weeks back, or a couple of months back. This is an album of Meiji era Teihon, a sample prints for teaching kids how to draw, and they too have been pasted down, and this one is a disaster. The paper they're made on is quite nice washi, but the paper they're pasted into, you can probably see it, it's already molding. Get my camera's worked out here, I'm sorry. It's already molding and foxing. These prints have to come off here. Neither of these things are albums that were created by a publisher. They are things that people did with the prints after they got them. And we're going to save their lives by giving them a bath and taking them off. Now what I've got here today, the bath is over there. It's our usual bath that we use for heating the size, for doing the sizing. And after separating in the hot water, we will be drying the prints here on the table. But I'm sure you want to see what's going on in the bath. So we also have a second camera, as you can see, facing down into the hot water. And we've also got another setup here where we can switch to the bath itself. Let's have some fun with this. Okay, I should have actually started before, because these things take time to soak before they will come off. So I should have actually started the batch soaking. Idiot me, I didn't. So let's get some going right now. Some of these are pasted on both sides and some are pasted on one side. Let's just get a batch of them in here. Are they going to focus? Yeah, good. How warm is the water? Okay, the water is about 30. Actually, I think it's a little on the cool side. The thing here says 30. And I've got about an inch of water in there. I might put a bit more in if I throw some more prints in. We're looking at about 30 degrees. I don't know what that is over in America. I don't know, 30 degrees. And there's a few things about this. I know I'm doing this in public. People are going to look at this. They're going to watch it. Oh, wow, I can do that. They've got some prints at home. They're going to try it. I'm going to get, criticized for showing how to do this because people are going to try it. Couple of things. It's all about the pigments. So what's this somebody saying? Don't try this at home unless you know what pigments are in there. Lots of the pigments in the late Meiji era or through the early part of the 20th century are water soluble. You do this and the pigments will float up and you'll have red water or whatever. You can't do this. Most of the pigments used in the center part of the Edo era through the 1800s are okay. If I had an original Hiroshige print here, most of them can be washed. Almost all the stuff from the Taisho, Showa up to the modern time is okay. Again, with the exception of red, vermilion, or shoeiro, it dissolves in water readily and floats away. We know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing. It's all about the pigments. The other thing is about the difference between the washi that the print is made on and the washi on the paper that it's glued to. This particular album is made with the prints are made with a reasonable kind of washi, and the paper that the album is made on is total pulpy junk. That's exactly what we want, is in the hot water the pulpy junk will start to dissolve before the print would ever dissolve. What we're going to see here in a few minutes, I'm sure, going by this is pasted on with what looks like rice paste, which dissolves in water. So after a couple of minutes, what we're going to see here is I don't have to do any removal. These prints are going to float away off the backing. And it'll happen quite quickly here because this paper is so thin and the water is warm. Can we see it? Look at this. Look. This print already. Look at that. Here we go. We've got one. Not quite at the other end yet, but it's just going to float away from the backing once that rice paste dissolves. The other prints we'll try in a few minutes. The ones on this thick card, it won't be that easy. Here it is. She's just come off. This was just on one side. Here we go. There is our junk, half pulp, half junk washi. Out she goes, and we have our first print. Now look at this. Look at the difference. You can see where it was glued to the backing paper. Are we on camera here? The glued part is clear white. The glue actually protected the print from getting hurt by the backing paper. The part in the middle that wasn't glued, that's been, what's the word? It's been pressed against acidic paper all the time for 100 years, and it has gone bad. Let's get her out of here now. Well, before I do, let's see. There might be shreds of glue here on the back to wash off. Yeah, there is. There's some glue on the back of this print. We're done. And we're going to use a ton of newspaper today to get the bulk of the water off these things. Clattery sound, the clicking sound you hear, it's the heating element in the water going on and off. There's a thermostat on it. It's cycling on and cycling off, and the metal expands and contracts. You see, this is as easy as it gets. The ones we see in a few minutes are going to be much more difficult, but these ones just float away. The rice paste just dissolves, and the backing paper is very, very weak. It's a bit too hot for my fingers. Yeah, so this is where we heat the glue. Yes, exactly. You can hear the sound up and down, up and down, up and down. The prints we're doing today, actually, many of them are going to go into the collection, but many of them are doubles. We've been buying so many of these old Tejon prints that we're coming up with a lot of doubles. The doubles are going to go downstairs to Watanabe-san. They will go into the shop. Questions, questions, questions. Trying to watch both. The water you're seeing in there, we have filtered it at a basic level of filter. It runs through some, whatever, I forget the name of it. It's a Scandinavian company. We're not trying to filter out, viruses and stuff, like whatever that level of filtering on the water. We're simply trying to filter out iron. There's iron particles in the pipes in an old building like this, so we're trying to filter those out. As you see, as we get further on with this morning, these ones that are on the newspaper here, as we get these a bit more dry, you'll see that stripe around the outside, the white part and brown part, that is going to fade away to some extent. You'll see just when we get to that part. Hang on. I also have a couple of other things ready here. They're behind me. I have a flat drying board. We have a flat board. The board we use when we're doing our sizing, it's flat plastic. When I used to do this washing in Ome, I did it at my kitchen sink, and I used a refrigerator door for the final step. Once the prints had most of the moisture taken out of them, they went on the refrigerator door, which kept them really, really nice and flat while they dried. So today we're going to do a multi-stage process. It's going to go down a line of newspaper, getting drier and drier. Then it's going to go on that board for a while. Then I have the stack of pressing boards that we use to dry prints. Someone's saying, how often do we make a whoopee? You mean, how often do I screw this up? I don't do it with prints that I have a doubt about. We're not working here with Utamoto prints from the old days. We don't have any super expensive prints. Look at this, she just lifts right off. And we only do it with prints that I know it's going to work, obviously. But actually dealing with the wet washi, very delicate washi, this is a delicate process, And myself and the printers working here, we are used to handling wet paper. Do we have to switch the views here? So as you can see, they're going to work their way down the line here. We're getting rid of most of the moisture just on newspaper. She just pulls away. It is not always going to be that simple. The things you see floating in the tub here now, these are remnants of the backing sheet washi. Okay, I can't see and the chat at the same time, nah. You can see how it works, step by step, down they come. I couldn't have ever done this with a newspaper back when I lived in Canada because of course the ink transfers, but Japanese newspapers don't transfer. What's this? Japanese newspapers before 2017, no problem. I don't know about a change here. Taran-san knows something I don't know? No idea. Have I heard back from Mokuhankan? No, not yet. I'm sorry, not yet. They just brought the prints. It's New Year break. They are off and gone for New Year. We will be talking to them in the next couple of weeks. So I have no update on the doi prints yet. Please, hang on that. This is Japan. Everything sleeps, except like some of us here. But okay, tell you what. To get this a bit more interesting here, I'm going to now take some of the smaller prints, the ones that are on these cards. I'm going to dump these in there because these ones are going to take longer to soak. It's on very thick card, and also these are not going to float off. I'm going to have to carefully peel these off as we go. Let's put some of these in here. The first time I did this, I did it with junk prints that I was just learning with to try and figure out how to do this. And you look at a print like this, it's beautiful gradations, it's all colored, there's a bit of embossing from the Baron. And I was thinking, this is going to destroy that stuff. What's going to go on? We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, you guys sit and soak. These ones are on both sides. I got to be careful. Here we go. So this is coming off, but I have to be careful. There's a print on the back here. Look at this, straight up, straight off. Bingo, away goes the junk paper. It's not always this easy. Someone's asking, will there be a show and tell of the prints mentioned in the last stream? I have them here. If we can get them organized in all this chaos, we can look at them. I did bring them upstairs today, and I brought the stand. So yeah, there's a show and tell planned if it seems to work that way. I see there's a question there in the chat about the moon print in my Solitude series. At present, that's only in the set. I'm sorry, I made exactly the same number. I made about 200 of each of those. They weren't a limited edition, but just simply I made about 200 of each. During the years I was doing them, about 100 of the things, about a half of them left. And I have 100 or so each. Actually, now it's down to about 80 or 70, I guess. But we only have the same number left, so I'm not going to break it up. Everybody wants the moon print, and if I just sold the moon one, then that's it. The other prints would be orphaned. So for the future, as far as I can see it, that set is only going to stay as a set. We're not going to break it up. But one of the things on my to-do list in life, because that print is so popular, what I intend to do, when, what I intend to do is make a separate cutting, recut that moon block in a larger format. I think maybe an Oban print size. I'm going to recut it and then put it into the Mokuhankan catalog. So the idea is at some future time, if I live long enough, that print will be a separate item available. But at the moment, I'm sorry, it's only part of the book set. And I know lots of people like it and love it. That one and the river one, the Winter River. People ask about those too. Look at this print. Look at this spotting and all the way it is when it's in the water. In a few minutes from now, 15, 20 minutes from now, when this print is dried, you won't see any of that. In water, paper becomes sort of transparent. And look at this, all these markings you see. Just hold on 15, 20 minutes till this thing is dry. Any specific temp on the water? Just warm water. I know too hot, I guess the idea, if it was too hot, I couldn't get my fingers in there and it would maybe work harder on the pigments. If it's cold, it doesn't dissolve the glue. So we just need warm water here. Someone's asking, what are we doing? Yes, we're removing some Meiji era prints from a very bad album. Somebody glued them into a terrible album, an album with very poor quality paper. And they've been in there for 100 years, so we're just trying to free them from the prison they've been in. You can see, this is still semi-wet, of course, but here we are. The print has been freed. You can see it's beautifully thin washi paper. Once we get this dried, we'll look at it more carefully. Look at it, it's so transparent, wet paper. These are delicate, I gotta tell you. We said at the beginning of this stream, sort of don't try this at home. All of us here, we've spent decades touching and feeling and carrying wet paper. The glue on this, I think it's just rice paste. As far as I can tell, I have no analysis of it, but I believe we're just looking at rice paste. Yeah, absolutely, they do not always come off this easily. We're seeing a very lucky one. Well, not lucky because I planned this knowing that this would not be too difficult. Sometimes when there's large amounts of glue, when the backing paper is extremely thick, and when the glue is heavy and tight, then it's trouble. Because what happens is you put it in the water, and the water goes through the thin print first, but doesn't get all the way through the thick, heavy backing paper. So the glue layer doesn't dissolve easily. And those prints are real trouble, real trouble. Sometimes the backing paper itself will peel into pieces, and you're peeling off the backing paper bit by bit by bit until it gets thin enough for the glue to dissolve. And sometimes the print is in this bath for a couple of hours for that backing paper to really get soft. Let's catch the hunko. Oh, I see, that's already off. I was looking how to peel the backing paper off. It's already off. The other danger of this, if you don't know what you're doing, what I'm doing right now, I'm lightly rubbing the back of this print, my fingertip, I'm peeling off the little bits of glue and leftover backing paper. You can see them floating in the water. But this washi will abrade, and if I rub too hard here with my finger, the same thing will happen that you see when we're doing our peeling over on the carving bench. The washi will start to peel. Look at these, beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm so happy that we can save these prints. The paper will wrinkle when it dries. If I just let the piece of paper sit here and dry, it'll wrinkle like crazy. This is going to be my #1 challenge today, to get these things dried without wrinkling. And it's simply going to be stage by stage by stage. As I said, the prints are rolling down the line here, drying out bit by bit by bit. And when finally most of the moisture is gone, then they go into the drying boards. We've got heavy pieces of cardboard here. I've got a stack, there's tons of them here. These are the boards we normally use to dry our prints after making them. These prints are going to come out of here perfectly, beautifully, absolutely flat. And what we really need here actually is not one person. We need 2 or 3 people working here. One person on the bath, one person doing this part, and one person running the drying boards at the back. Yes, someone's asking. They go into the drying boards. It's now like 8:30. By 10 o'clock, this stuff will all be beautifully, fabulously flat and dry. Vacuum table, I don't know. We have to be careful. This paper is extremely thin and delicate. I'd be hesitant about putting it on something like that and flicking switches. This paper is soft and delicate. These are going to take a while, and this is that problem. The backing paper is thick and heavy compared to the prints. soak, soak, soak. Oh, it's starting. We're going to be okay. It's starting. Can we see? I have to be careful because there's a print on both sides of this. But look here, if I pull it up a bit, we see now she is coming away. Oh, look at this. We are okay. Careful, Dave. Careful, Dave. Yes, it's coming up smoothly. Corners are dangerous. It's really easy to rip off the corner. Here we go. Look at this. There's glue. I can feel it. The back is sticky with the glue. This is not rice paste. He's used something else. We're going to wash off the glue. I can feel the stickiness in my fingers. Okay, the glue's off. We now have a saturated soaking wet print, clean though, back to the way it was in the beginning. Let's wipe off some excess water on the edge here. And over we go. Now the back side of that one, where is it? Here we are. This is easier because I can pull the cardboard. Look, you can now twist the cardboard, pull the cardboard, and just float her off. And again, the corners. Start at the corners, don't run into a corner. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The heater, the noise is the heater. I'm sorry, it's expansion, contraction. It's a thermostat on it. I'm gonna. After doing enough of this, the water, of course, gets recycled. You can see the water is going brown from the glue, and it's got all the bits and pieces in it. This is a nice set. It's I'm not sure the exact pronunciation. It's a theatre, parody theatre, 12 months of the year. It's show 9, this series. So it's a set of the 12 prints are there, but there's a cover sheet, and we've also got a couple of, there's a table of contents sheet for the set, and there's a couple of other, what do you call them, celebration prints made by other members of the group back then. Look at this, it just floats off. Whoa, 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 whoa. So the full set here has, I think, 16 prints in this set. The 12 of the main set, title, contents, and 2 celebration prints. Actually, we already have this set in our collection, so perhaps this set might be going into the flea market. I don't know. That's something else too about the, doing this is the time, the labor. Glue, I can feel the glue. The camera can see it, I'm rubbing it. We've got a clean edge of the metal table here, so wipe off some of the water on the metal edge. Back and forth, back and forth. Would I be able to fix one if I accidentally tore it while removing it from the paper? Well, we do patch torn prints. I know that's another thing. We've got the thin Gampi paper that we use. And if you've got a print that has been torn, either in the old days or if I tore it here now today, you take the print, lay it down carefully, get it arranged, and then glue with a rice glue, removable glue, some very, very thin Gampi paper on the back of it. So yeah, they're I don't know, fixable in that sense. You can put a bandage on the print. This is why we need more than one person. There should be somebody in the bath here. There should be somebody moving these prints. Some of them are now almost ready to get put into the drying boards. What happens is they're very wet in the middle and they're drier on the corners. And if I put it like that into the drying boards, the corners all get, I don't know, what's the word, shiwa. They all get wavy. So we've got to find a good balance. I'm not washing these prints, I'm separating these prints. Taran-san, I should have given you a call. I didn't think of it. There's lots more to do, Taran-san. If you've got a day off with nothing to do, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of prints waiting here. We have decks and decks and decks of prints waiting for this treatment and no time to do it. Bring your rubber ducky. I should have. Someone says there's more urgent prints for the bath. I don't know. We have. I mean, you've seen them on the show. Look at this. They're floating away here. More urgent prints. I don't know what to say. Yes, we've got many, many, many prints waiting for this, of course. More than I could do in a month of Sundays. Okay, did you see that last one then? Here. Did you see the paper as I floated away? Here's the print. And here's the backing sheet. And look at this. You can see what I said about red. And this actually is not even perhaps so much just happening from the bath. The thing was stuck together for so many years. The red pigment has gone through into the backing sheet. But the print is fine. There's nothing dissolving here. But that's very dangerous. That red, I looked at that last night when I was choosing the prints to do with this. I looked at that red and thought, are we okay with that? I thought we were okay, and we are okay. I can't watch the chat and talk and do this. Sorry, here we go. Also, if I rush this and tried to peel some off before they're ready, they will tear. I've got to be careful here. I should get the next batch ready. There's another question too, Anna. I should have prepared something to be able to show you this. When I first started doing things like this, I was really worried about things like embossing, karazuri, or the whole feeling in the mood. When you make a woodblock print, there's depressions and embossings just in the normal printing itself, even on a print that wasn't specifically done with karazuri. And I thought those would be destroyed by this process. And as long as the washi is good, decent, high-quality washi, they're not. And we'll try and show you at the end of this stream some of these prints that we've taken off, if we get them dried by the end of the stream. They still have full embossing. And also, they will still have something else that will become visible. You will be able to see the barren marks on the back of this that have been hidden because they were glued down. I did enlarge the text. It's up 2 levels. Otherwise, I'd be right here. Another possible trouble when you're doing the drying, if there is still glue remnants on the back of the prints, then they will glue themselves to this drying paper. So for the most part, I put them here face down on the newspaper as they are getting, getting the water removed. If we put them face up, then they sometimes stick to the newspaper or the backing boards, the drying boards. Floating away. Whoa, so nice today. This is going better than I had expected. I got to be careful not to rush it, but this is better than I expected. Whoever this dude was, he's used, I don't know, quite a weak glue. It might just be rice paste. Someone's asking, would toilet paper be useful to try? I don't think, even someone as skilled as I am, I don't think I can pick up and play with wet toilet paper. I don't know. I have never tried that, but I don't think I'm going to try. So the red pigment, you can see, red is dangerous. Hontoni red is dangerous. Red is dangerous. I'm going to start stacking some of these here. There's no way we can put this group into drying boards just yet. They are still wet to the touch. There's no loose water, but they are still completely wet. And also, as I said, the edges have dried quite a bit, but the middle hasn't, and they would just crazily. Look at this. These are so nice prints. Look at this. You can't see because of the light. There's still a bit of residual and all. This may or may not come out. It's been in there for 100 years and the album was bent, so some of the prints got strongly creased. I'm not really going to try and do much with those. We're going to put them into drying boards and they may dry a bit more flat than they are now, but I'm not going to try specifically to iron them or anything like that. Light here, where am I? She's just been in a bath. Maybe you can use this camera. Can I use this camera? If I switch, can we see that? There we are. This has just been in the bath. It's been pulled off the backing sheet, and look at it. Beautiful. It's still wet, so it's very, very soft. And remember, we make these things on wet paper. I know these prints had their birth on a piece of wet, moistened washi paper. These must be ready. Let's have a look. Let's throw some more in. It's a constant thread. Let's do these little ones. We have some set of fan prints. I think this is also a duplicate. These may end up in the flea market. There's a set of 12 fan prints. Why the guy glued them on? We're also okay to go for a while. If we go too long here, the water will be so dirty it'll start to stain the prints. So of course we should change the water at some point here. What time is it now? Yeah, we'll do it today. It's 10 minutes to 9. You see what I'm doing at the edge here? Just a second. When we peel this off. We're going across the edge here. That was the upstairs door, that sound. Somebody coming in from the roof? Or is it windy? Maybe windy. Or have you seen this one before? Wet, soaking wet. Look at this. Last group of these. in you go, in you go, in you go. You haven't had a bath in 100 years. These are from about, I don't know, early 1900s, 1895, 1900, 1905, 1910, somewhere around there. The pH of this bath, I have no idea. It needs to be a change. We'll just finish this and then we'll go. How long can I leave the prints submerged before risking damage? There is no single answer. As you said at the beginning of the stream, it all depends on the pigments. Some pigments are much more fugitive than others. Some are much more sensitive than others. I have experience with prints of this type, so I know we're okay. If I left them here last night and came back tomorrow morning, some of the pigments that I think are safe may have dissolved under that much intense immersion. I don't know. This glue dissolves quickly. The whole thing's over in 10-15 minutes, and we're good to go. What's the max I could leave them? I'm sorry, I can't give you a number. It's all case by case by case. It's really experience. If you have done this before, you're okay. If you've never done it before, you need some real junk prints to practice with. And that's what I had some years back. I don't even remember how long ago it was. We're talking 20, 25 years ago. I talked to my friend Wade-san. He's a used print dealer. He has stuff on eBay all the time. And he had been showing me one day, he had a batch of books and prints that were just totally destroyed. They were remnants, they were prints that had been torn in half, they were just scrap paper. And he was like gonna throw them away, and I said, Wade-san, before you toss it, can I have some of those? And I explained what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn and practice and try taking them off the backing paper. And he said, oh yeah, cool, that's a good idea. So he gave me that stack of stuff. I still got half of it. It's worthless, torn, useless fragments. And I used those. It wasn't here, it was over in Ome. I used those to practice. I threw them in the bath and ooh, look at that, that's not gonna work. I learned bit by bit by bit. So I had a training session with total junk prints that had no zero value, nothing left in them at all. And then of course on top of that is the training from just running our own print business, making prints all over the years. So knowing what will work and what won't work. Yeah, Taran-san, I never thought about it. You know, it would have been cool to call you and you could work with me here to do this. Good experience for you too. Sorry about that. I didn't think ahead. Story of my life these days. Firefighting. Morning till night, firefighting. That is a nice, nice print set. Am I the only person able to do this? No, of course not. There's conservators and people like stuff working in museums all over the world. I don't know. If someone's asking about the red. If the red dissolves, it goes into the water and the whole thing gets tinted pink. Absolutely. If I wasn't careful with this, if I put a print in that had dissolvable red or one of those aniline dyes from the German pigments they were using in the late Meiji, the water would go red and all the prints would end up pink. Absolutely. Another experience that I had too with doing some of these one day, I got some prints on Yahoo Auction. This is back in Ome. This is years ago. I got them in there. They were on a heavy backing board. I thought, okay, this is going to be cool. Let's get these off here. The pigments seemed okay. I got all set. I put them in the water. And as I peeled off the backing sheet, I found out that the backing sheet wasn't just a backing sheet. It was a repair job. And what I was doing was I was peeling away some previous repair. And the print had holes in it. It was torn in half. It was ripped all over the place. And by pulling up the backing sheet, I left it all in a mess. It was in two pieces and there was holes. So I'm like, oh, okay, Dave, bright spark on that one. So what can I do? Just get all the pieces back together and do my own repair later on. But that one shouldn't have gone into the bath. It was okay. Much heavier glue on this one. Pulled up much more the backing sheet. Different person must have done this one, I think. I don't know. It's hard to say. This is touchy. My fingers can tell. I'm peeling away the unneeded backing sheet washi without pressing hard enough to peel from the real print itself. And this is a real touchy part of this. I screwed up lots when I was not so experienced on this. My fingers would be doing this. I'd be peeling, and when I thought it was backing paper that was coming away, it was actually the back layer of the print, like we do when we're peeling on the carving bench. Yeah, look at this. I think we've missed one here. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. I think we've lost one. Let's see. I think we've maybe lost one. Let's see. Yeah, the glue was really heavy on that one. Okay, let's get this down. Not sure. Let's get this a bit dried and see what's happening. Okay, you stay here for a minute. Not sure about you. Too much to do here. Where are we? Where are we? where are we? 9:06. Okay, let's get this last batch off. I think timing is working very well today here. Let's get this last batch off, 9:06. We'll get those flattened. I'll cover these up and we'll have a show and tell at around 9:15. And this water is done. You can see it. The water is now murky brown, full of junk. They're going to float off, no problem. They've been in here long enough. Yeah, the glue, I can feel the glue. If I don't get it off, these will stick to the backing boards when I dry them. This is a seasonal set of fan prints. I think there's 12 of them in the set. And we have the envelope that goes with them. We have the presentation envelope. Okay, that's it for the water part today. Someone's asking about the subscription series. Will we see the designs for the prints and the sub-series before actually receiving them? We ourselves don't know what designs are coming up, so I certainly can't show everybody all the designs right now. That can't be done. What we've been doing in past years, or what we did last year, people who watch the stream and stuff will sometimes see the designs coming up because they see the carving. People that don't watch the streams don't know, and we'd never post prints on Instagram or the website until 1 month after mailing the initial batch. So the policy is, for example, with the March print, we mail it at the beginning of March, or depending on the schedule. Some people are 1st or the 11th or the 21st. After we've mailed it, we still don't put it on the website. It goes up on April 1st at the earliest, and we frequently forget and don't even get it up then. So no, we don't put things on the website in advance of people receiving them. Normal policy, but the shipping now is taking so long that whatever. How is the ripped paper? I don't know, it's ripped. I've ripped the corner of this one, absolutely. The corner has been ripped. I am going to let it sit here and dry in place. If I try and muck with it too much now, I'm going to rip the corner even worse. So I did. I separated the corner. You can see the two lines to show. 1, 2. The corner has started to separate. So I'm going to leave that one right there until it's much drier and more stable. Slide it back together and put paper on the back to glue it back together. the last one. That's the way it happens. They show the last one. I'm all covered. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I rubbed a bit too hard towards the corner. Remember, I told you never rub towards the corner because it pulls the corners off. The very last one. Okay, let's go back to some of the earlier ones and see. We're pretty much ready with some of the earlier ones, I think. They are not dry, but they are now dry enough to go into the drying boards over there. So how have we turned out? Okay, you can see what we still have here. I'll get a backing sheet. Hold it. Okay, as you can see now, the print itself, the central area here has been toned very heavily. It's over 100 years old. But the toning has mostly happened where it was in touch with the backing paper. Around the edges, where it was glued to the backing paper, the glue itself has protected the paper from aging. And this is the reason we take these things off the backing sheets. The washi paper itself is really well and long lasting. It doesn't go brown so much. It has no pulp in it, no lignins. So washi paper is fine. It's the backing sheets that are terrible. We've got to get those things off. Woodblock prints, the Japanese type, don't need any packaging. There's no packaging in the world that's as strong and as clear and as anti-aging as the print paper itself. It's a paradox for us. We have no way to pack the prints because the packaging is always weaker than the prints. We try the prints we're selling now and putting out into the market now. We try and find what is billed as acid-free paper. Is it? I don't know. How long am I going to live to test it and to find out? You trust these companies, you know, with this stuff. I don't know. Get confused, where am I? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. I've lost two of them. Where are they? There's one. That's 11. Nanda. It's stuck in the back. 12 height. What's the time? 9:17. Yeah, I've got it. There's 12 there. Okay, show and tell time. Okay, now how are we going to do the show and tell? Just a sec. Let me stack these things up. Out of the way. Okay, how are we going to do the show and tell? I'm not sure which camera to use. Etone. If I put that here, just let me just a second, let's try this. Let's switch cameras. Hang on a moment. Will that do it? That should do it. Let's get the other camera out of the way here. Heater is off. Prints are covered. After the stream's over, I'll be working for a half an hour or so to get those things all unscrambled. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, first search terms. Etone. Let's put the auction in here. I got these last week, a couple of weeks back, on auction, and this is not one of those super cheap Dave gets a treasure for $5 kind of auctions. That's not how this works. This was an auction I had to pay. I paid through the nose, actually. I paid more than the guy had actually really expected to get. Well, so that's how auctions work. What happened was I bid on the thing and got it, and when I got it back from him, I see he was a dealer, and he's got his standard dealer's folder, and he's got the price on it, and it was 25,000 yen. I ended up paying more than 30,000 yen, 35,000 for it, because somebody else wanted it and somebody else bid up against it. So this is not one of those super cheap bargain things, but it is a hugely interesting set. This is not going to be for sale. This is going into our collection. It's a set of prints that's made in Ansei 7. This is Tokugawa era. This is Edo era. This is before Meiji. The Westerners had just arrived. This is 1860. So there are Westerners in the country, but this is still 100% pure Japanese culture. It's nothing to do with the modernization. These are completely traditional Edo era prints. And the title is, I got a note here, it's called Kyokun Zen Aku Kagami. Kyokun Zen Aku Kagami. Kyokun, it's a word I didn't know. It's an old-fashioned word meaning to teach. You know when they have a story, the moral of the story is, it's a story with a moral. What's the word in English? Didactic. It's meant to put some kind of meaning out. And this is a set of prints, a set of 12 pairs. This is number 1 pair we are seeing, and number 2 pair, number 3 pair. And it's the bad side and the good side. And this is the two kanji, Zen, Aku. We have Zen on the top ones and Aku. And it's, actually Zen is more like good, and Aku is more like evil. Evil rather than good and bad. So it's good side and the bad side. And the fun thing here, no, wait a minute, get it back. The bad side is the top one here, Aku, and the good one is at the bottom. Dave, get this right. So it's prints with morals, and some of them are obvious. Okay, I can see they're showing bad behavior, they're showing good behavior, and some of them I cannot figure out which is which. And what they've done, they've got each print full of little invisible characters. this first pair, for example, the bottom one, there's somebody is ill and this person is tending to the person who is ill. And all these little guys around, and they've got a fake face. They've got the kanji on their face, and they are helping and tending. This is the good scene. And we have outside a sort of imaginary figure. This looks like Hote with his magic hammer, and he's going to be bringing good fortune sometime soon. This is the good side. The same pair, presumably, I guess we have the same guy, I don't know. This is the bad side. Instead of being back home caring for his aged parent, he's in a rickshaw cart, he's been out to somewhere, he's in a shop, there's bottles on the shelf, there's a fight happening with the abacus, there's an argument about prices, and the evil little demons are involved. And Hote is heading out somewhere else. He's got nothing to do with this guy. So it's good or evil. So Vivid KP's got it. Now, precept, teachings, little goblins, and it's good goblins and bad goblins. It's the good bird and the bad bird on your shoulders. Let's move on. These are fun. Some of them are, like I said, it's fairly obvious, like the one we just saw. This one, I cannot understand what is going on here. I cannot understand what's going on. Top one, this is the bad side. Oops, we're already at the top. And our hero is heading off in a rickshaw cart somewhere. The little demons are helping pull the cart. They're encouraging, they're pushing the cart. And we have on the ground something. Has this been dropped? I have no idea what's going on. Let's switch to the other side. And this is the good behavior, and the little angels are pointing at this thing which has money spilling out of it. It's a purse that's been dropped on the street. And I don't get this. This looks like they're encouraging him. Hey, somebody dropped the purse. Pick it up and run with it. But this is the good behavior side. So all I can guess is returning something. He's supposed to pick it up and hand it into the police department or something. I don't know. What's bad about the top one? The guy's rushing off to the Yoshiwara maybe? I don't know. There are slight explanations, but they're in the hentai gana, which I cannot read. And in fact, I asked Watanabe-san the other day, and she's like, sorry, I'm out of here. I can't read these either. Normal Japanese people can't read these. Only people with knowledge of the old calligraphy can read these. And what we're going to do is, when she gets a minute later this week, we're going to shoot pictures and get them up in the collection fairly soon, because I really want to crowdsource this. What is going on in these pictures? What are the good and bad deeds being done? This one seems sort of obvious. I don't know. The top picture, it's party time. Our hero is involved. He's in the Yoshiwara. There is a lady attending. There's friends around. They're playing games. There's drinks being served everywhere. It's party time. We can understand that. The good one, looks kind of boring to me. I don't know. I'm not sure which one of these our hero is. It looks like the same guy here. He is with his angels, and he's been, you tell me, visiting somebody. He's taking an offering, he's receiving something. I don't know. There is an explanation, I'm sorry. Number 4, again, it's not clear what's going on. Again, it seems the same theme is repeated again and again. The top ones seem like party time. It's cherry blossom season. People are heading out, the devil's saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. We've got our ladies. Maybe it's a guy and his friends, and they've got a couple of ladies with them. I don't know. The bottom one, it's the same concept. And maybe our hero, instead of going off partying with the ladies, he's got his girlfriend and her mother. This lady is clearly, obviously, and he's saying, here, jump in the rickshaw cart. I will help to take you out to the cherry blossom season. I'm just guessing on this. I don't know. What was the first one? Pay your taxes instead of partying. Was that the one we got left? It's quite possible. He's going off to pay his taxes. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know. What's this one? These now, a couple of these next ones, these get funny. This is the top, this is the bottom one here. Which you know. This is the good behavior one, and our hero is bringing an offering to something. There's a lady in the background, and the angels are busy at getting a rope ready to tie these two together. So it looks like we have a wedding coming up. Not quite sure. The top one, the matching one of the pair, the devils are trying to pull away. They're trying to pull apart. These guys are smashing things up. There's been chaos. There's been a fight. Money is flying away. So obviously these two people are not going to end up as a happy couple forever after. I don't know. We've really got to get this figured out and sorted out. Next one. This is the bad guys. Look at this now. It's something similar. The devils have a knife, a chopper, and they are cutting. So this must be a couple already, and these devils have done something to separate this. Maybe the guy's wasted his money or something. I don't know. Without reading the explanation, I can't see it. And the good side, the devils here are tying a knot even tighter. This an elderly lady and couple, and again, this looks like pre-wedding though again. So maybe the top one, they weren't married, but so the devils have done something so that that's not going to happen. And the bottom one, it is. The angels are tying this knot together. What have we got? What have we got here? No idea. You tell me. Your guess is as good as mine. The top one, we have our hero. He is in a rice granary, a rice warehouse. More rice is coming in. There's stacks of rice. This is huge value. This is supposed to be the bad side. Not quite sure. Maybe somebody is hoarding rice. Is that what it is? That was a antisocial behavior in the Edo period. On the good side, we have, these are ornaments. There's hair ornaments and combs. This is all jewelry type stuff. Ornaments and hair ornaments and combs. And the guy is bringing them out of his storage here. So maybe the top one is hoarding, keeping things for yourself, and the bottom one is being free to share your goods with other people, perhaps. No idea. I would put my money on that guess for that one. This one is clear. Easy to understand, no problem. Our hero at the top here, it's party time again. It's Yoshiwara. They're having fun. There's ladies. Booze is being poured into huge cups. Shamisen is standing by. It's party time for this guy. His money is going to the ladies. The guy at the bottom here, who is a food vendor, he's got a stall with food, and there's a beggar asking for food, and this guy is, of course, helping to feed the beggar. And the angels are passing on that information to the gods upstairs. This one's kind of clear. Waste your money or help your neighbors. Number 9, we have the introduction of 2 new characters that we're going to see here. Let's go to the bad side first. This is a pawnbroker. He's picked up goods here. This guy is a drunkard. He's got nothing left. He sold his last goods to the pawnbroker. There's spider webs. The house is a wreck. The paper's peeling. He's got huge flasks. He's just received the money. Here's the money he got from the pawnbroker. So this guy is a wastrel. He's running his life down to the ground. The good side, on the other hand, we know where this is going. You don't need it. These are people who are carefully saving everything they've got. They've got their little stacks of money here. They're saving it up. Their house is neat and clean, simply dressed. And Hote again, this is the money bags guy. He is bringing fortune and good riches even more. So it's be a spendthrift and a wastrel, or be carefully taking care of your money and stuff. The two characters I mentioned, the two characters appear now in the next few prints, and I'm not quite sure who these are. I'm not quite sure. I'm totally not sure who these are. There's some kind of ghost. They have no feet. And there's characters that I really can't read on top of their heads. It's a he and a she, and I really don't know what these are. The demons are pulling them into this house. So the pawnbroker's on his way out. The guy's broke. He's drunk. All he's got left is some booze. And the demons are bringing in this couple to the house. And we see them again here now on this one. This sort of looks like the same thing outside. The house is run down and broken and patched. There's a guy taking stuff away. It looks sort of like the same thing. And the bottom one here, we have a thriving business being shown. The guy is selling haberdashery. He's selling his Western stuff. Look at this. There's Western hats and umbrellas. There is influence from the West visible in these prints. And the angels are pushing customers into this shop all over the place. So a thriving business. But what's the moral of the story? I'm not sure. This one again, it's heavy on the text and light on the pictures, and I don't know what's happening. I really don't know. We have the same two people appearing in the background again. This is clearly, these people are not good news. This guy's angry, there's a fight. I don't know at all. This one's too heavy on the text and not enough picture information to tell us what's going on. And the last one, 12 in the set. I guess, all I can guess at is this is the last one in the set, and it shows this is where you will end up. This guy here, I guess it's our hero. It's not that he's doing anything specifically wrong at this point. It's that this is the end of the story. This is the moral of the story. If you behave in the way you saw in those previous pictures, this is where you end up. A beggar on the street with a straw mat, no home, you're homeless. Somebody maybe will give you a coin here and there. On the other hand, if you do what you're told in all those previous pictures, you will end up rich and happy with a beautiful sea bream, a symbol of wealth, Hote in the background, money everywhere. It always seems to come down to money, money, money for these guys. Good behavior, bad behavior, you end up broke. Good behavior, you end up rich. It's nothing about being ethical or moral or whatever. It's just about ending up with a ton of money. It all seems to be about money. No idea whether that's just a specific target of this specific set of prints or whether that was the mood in the air at that time. I don't know. 1860, were they in the middle of a feast or a famine? I don't know. And who would have bought this? Would a parent have bought this to give to his kids? I don't know. Who would buy this? Who would sit there and read these things? I really, really, really don't know. I'm not going to make any prints of this. No, this is just simply we've got this in our collection. I bought it because I really wanted to be able to study this as a typical example of prints of that era. We're not going to reproduce this at all. These are not really super high quality prints. The pigments you see here are really cheap pigments of the day. I could not put this print in that bath we just saw. This purple would dissolve almost instantly. This is not a print that could be treated the way you just saw me treat the prints a few minutes ago. These haven't been backed. They're in pretty good condition. I don't need to do anything with them. We will just take care of them carefully. We'll put them in folders, we'll photograph them, put them on the website, and try and study and learn more about what's going on. Angels and demons. Schools, who knows? Who knows? No, we're not going to make any prints of this. Just there it is. Okay, let's somehow, before we close, let's get back. Let's have a look at some of our prints. The ones we took off the, we've got our stand ready here. So let's have a look at some of the prints. They're not dry yet, of course. Let's have a look at some of the prints we have saved today. Let's put a black background so we can see them. These are the prints that you saw in the water a few minutes ago. And you can see, look at this. See the back of this one? This is where I behaved carefully. I didn't rub too hard. I didn't take off all the crap at the back. That last one that I spoiled, I did rub too hard. Let's have a little, let's have a little, where's the stack of prints? Here we are. They are not dry enough yet, actually. But let's show some. It's hard to tell which way up these are. This one is still wet, wet, wet. Look at that, too patchy. Some of them are still too soon to be shown. Love this one. Love this one. Beautiful. These are so nice. So nice. The album we got had over 100 of them in it. Yeah, it's just water. It's nothing, 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 nothing. I should put some newspaper inside. Let's do that. This one is much more brown than the other ones, and perhaps what this one got, it might have been near one of the album covers and got some toning from the cover of the album. I don't know. You saw these some time ago, some weeks ago, when they were still in the album. And this one's still wet, 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 wet. The staining is really wet. And then how about the little ones? Where are they? Oops. And this is the kabuki set. Are we focused? No. Come on, camera, you can do it. Focus, focus, focus. Doesn't want to focus. Yay! Danjuro again with his famous mark. These are still damp, damp, damp. These need much more newspaper changing. This is a nice set of 12 prints. Beautiful. They will dry beautifully flat and clean. Ah, we know who that is. That's from the 47. Okay. Okay, there we have it. I think this set we're looking at now, it might already be in the collection because we do have this set. These are doubles. And this set may be going into the flea market after we have a time to finish this off and get it all set up. Okay, there you have it. A bit of a different stream today. If I had been watching this stream from Canada, 40 years ago, if I'd seen something like this, I would have been interested in having a go at this myself, trying to work out how to put prints in the bath and stuff. So I've got to say to Sandy again, the disclaimer, please don't do this unless you know what you're doing. Don't do this unless you've got some really super junk prints or the prints you've made yourself or something to try with. Prints and water can be dangerous. It's all up to the pigments. I know which ones are okay and which ones are not. And if you don't have that experience, you're going to destroy some prints. Whatever. There is lots and lots and lots of cheap junk out there. We have folders of it ourselves. So if we were trying to train new people here, we have material to train them with. And whatever. Say Cindy again, please don't try this at home. I just wanted to show you another aspect to the work we do here. Okay, it's Monday today. I don't have an outside camera, of course. We're way deep inside the building. I can't put the camera outside to show you. It's Monday here now. 3 days from now, I'll be back here Thursday with our second stream of the year. And I don't have a clue what I'll be doing. Although a big hint was that I'll still be on the same place, but I might be doing sizing next Thursday because our printers are all ready to get started again this year. There we have it. Thanks very much, and I hope it's been a little bit interesting for you. My hands were okay in the hot water. Now they're freezing. Just to show you what it's like inside a typical Japanese building here. Here is our thermometer. There's no heat here. There's no heat was ever built into this building. And that's the way it stands. It's now 10 degrees here. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. See you next time. It's not 12, it's 10. Whatever. Bye for now. See you next time.